Digging deeper into claims the Oregon Zoo is not living up to its promises when it comes to a multi-million-dollar bond measure that was passed by voters in 2008. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Dan Tilkin.
And I'm Jenny Hansen. Now, despite millions more in funding, animal rights activists tell KOIN 6 News that elephants at the zoo will remain in cramped quarters. And we first told you about their claim last night at 11, and today we sent Jessica Morker back out to do some fact-checking. And Jessica, you just got a first-hand look at the conditions.
I did, Jenny, and the executive director answered specific questions about this $125 million bond that voters approved back in 2008. In defense of animals say what was pitched along with this is not what voters are getting.
I know absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have never once come off what we promised in that bond measure.
Oregon Zoo executive director says the proof is all around. She tells me roughly half of the $125 million approved by voters back in 2008 has been used to improve conditions here and to expand the enclosure for one of the zoo's most popular attractions from 1.5 to 6 acres.
So it'd be 6 acres for the elephants, which was promised in our bond measure in 2008. So we are completely fulfilling that promise. And there'll be 6 acres for the elephants with natural substrates throughout and a lot of activity for them.
8 elephants currently live in this space, which is under construction. The zoo tells me when it's complete, it will accommodate 12 elephants. In Defense of Animals calls the enclosure inadequate. They also claim the zoo pulled a bait and switch when it comes to the $7 million in bond money earmarked for an off-site preserve.
Instead, it'll be used for additional elephants that the zoo hopes to bring in, and also as a spot to ramp up its breeding efforts.
Did the zoo ever publicly promise to voters to keep the existing herd as it is?
You know, the zoo has always promised to take the best care of the animals possible, which is what we are doing. We've always promised to take good care of our animals and improve the welfare with the bond.
Smith says the zoo never promised not to breed more elephants, so we checked it out for ourselves. The actual bond language says in part the money will be used to create more humane conditions for elephants in creating an outdoor space from 1.5 to 6 acres. And back here live now, IDA says the previous executive director has said that the zoo would use the off-site preserve for the existing herd and not add to it. But I just got off the phone with Tony Vecchio. He's the former executive director. He tells me the plan all along was to continue breeding. Bottom line is IDA says the space here for these elephants is just not adequate. But the zoo says it's not only adequate, it's healthy. Live in Southwest Portland, Jessica Morkert, KOIN 6 News.
Very interesting. We'll stay on top of that one. Thank you, Jessica.